We are live. Sorry, everybody, for the delay. I was working on Downtown Association stuff with a couple of their downtown crews. So we're going to give this a few minutes. I know I'm 10 minutes late. My apologies to everybody. We'll give this a few minutes. We'll start talking, and I think Brad's going to jump on here, hence the extra chair. We'll kind of go from there. Give it a few minutes, see if anybody wants to tune in. All right. Somebody's tuning in on Facebook. I'm sure YouTube's not getting any attention, but hey, Donna. Cheyenne, I should say. Couple more minutes. Yeah, again, sorry for the delay, everybody. Too many business ventures, too much stuff going on all at the same time. Brad's over there looking at new product in the shop.
Where we at?
We are staring at a screen for a few minutes, letting this pop up. I'll get close. I promise I'll keep my hands to myself. Or maybe that's not a selling point. I don't know. Hopefully, yeah. It looks like we got good audio here, so we're doing good at this point. So, give it another minute or so. We got 3. I'm assuming they're all on Facebook, and we don't have any. I'm gonna hook up our Instagram to this one of these days. Yeah, while we're waiting for people to pop up, though, we got the Wilder tactical stuff in, new belts, carry gear, all that stuff, holster mounts.
Absolutely, good gear. Yeah. Nice. That's what I carry. Love it. Run it all the time.
I just set up my carry belt for classes. My new training belt's gonna be all in black. It's good stuff. I'm pretty happy with the quality, the build quality, and all that stuff. Would have been nice if we got here a little faster. But
yes, they're terrible with shipping. Terrible.
Oh, awful. That was horrendous beyond words. That's all right. No, I'll use it next weekend. Next weekend's our pistol class. Next Sunday. When is your gun show? Is it this Sunday?
I think it's a Sunday.
All right. I wonder if Mark's going to take that other pistol class then.
I have no idea. I need to look at that schedule.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I do too. I'm not paying attention to anything right now. Okay. That's right. People can jump in. We got a couple people watching. We'll get started and we'll kind of go from there. So, everybody who is tuning in, hi, I'm Matt.
Brad.
Brad's here more than I am these days. So, what tonight's all about is basically a Q&A session for any of our training classes. If anybody wants to tune in. If nothing else, I'll give you a summary. If nobody cares, we go home. Easy peasy. But upcoming next weekend, not this weekend, so it's the 22nd and the 23rd, we have our ladies only fundamentals class. And then we have on the 23rd is defensive handgun foundations. Defensive handgun. Yeah, I'm working on a working title on that one.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, we're working on that. It used to be defensive handguns, then somebody said it was too aggressive, so we did handgun foundations, and then it kind of melded into defensive handgun foundations. And we'll figure something out eventually here. But first class coming up is the ladies fundamentals. That is your introductory level class. If you've taken our CCL before, it's kind of a variation of that, but instead of focusing on passing the qualification, it's all about getting rounds on target, where you want them to go, all that stuff. It's no holsters, no draw. We don't really touch on self-defense concepts at all. It is 100% about being comfortable with your firearm. We've tried doing a co-ed one before, and we got zero interest, so we pretty much stick with the ladies only because I think they want to get away from the dudes for the most part, with the exception of our instructors, obviously. But it's a good class, especially if you're brand spanking new to firearms or you just want to get a little more comfortable. We go through teardown, we go through maintenance. We walk you through that whole process, and we make you do it enough times that you can walk away afterwards and do it yourself unsupervised. It's
so much more confident, so much more.
Yeah. it's all about getting comfortable. And even with the basic tasks, that's all it's about, is getting comfortable doing those basic tasks. It's a great class. Defensive handgun, that's that's on the 23rd. That is your first follow-up to concealed carry. That is all about holster draw, putting rounds where they want to go, and then a legitimate standard of shooting quality, because we actually have an actual shooting standard that we make you abide by in order to pass or graduate the class. It's not crazy hard, but it's definitely attainable and definitely achievable. But it's something that we actually had to put in place because we're like, all right, this requires a little more effort. But that's a class where we really do get into the nitty-gritty of defensive concepts. We talk use of force, practical application. Good to hear, Donna. Good to see you got your address change all worked out.
Let's see that.
Got to pay attention to the chat, bro. It's
Right.
a Q&A after all. Yeah, that's when we really get into the nitty-gritty of defensive firearm concepts. So we're going to, build some mindset stuff into it. So that's actually integrated. We'll talk about checking your area, checking your surroundings, be cognizant of where you're at, the people that are around you. It's not a super high-speed class. If that's your first class, you're probably going to be all right. You'll probably just be fine. Be just fine. Just give us the heads up at the beginning of class so we can make sure we take all the steps necessary to get you real comfortable. Because by the end of that day, you're going to be, well, by the start of that day, really, you're going to be shooting from the holster all day long. To my veteran shooters that have taken these classes before, they're like, that's too easy for them, that's too boring. Keep in mind, we step up and tier all of our classes based on your skill set. The qualification standard is more difficult the more you take it. We actually have a higher level of qualification. So that same qualification can be scored 3 different ways, depending on how you make impacts on the target. And we explain all this to you when you're in class. But the nice thing is,
It's always good to be back at the basics. Always good.
Yeah. The refreshers are never going to hurt you. And the flip side is, the first time you take it from an outside the waistband holster comfortably, just getting comfortable running your gun from a holster, rinse, repeat, etc. The next time you take it, jump in it again and do it all from concealment. When you've done that a couple of times, ramp up the rate of fire, ramp up the speed of your draw stroke, and start accelerating that skill set. With all that said, I guess we'll kind of move. That kind of covers that defensive handgun class, but it's always a useful class to take because it's going to force you to get back down to the basics of draw stroke, getting your hands where they need to be, getting proper grip, getting proper stance, getting comfortable with your gear. If you have a new holster, you have new gear, that's the class to take to work with it and get comfortable on it, because we're going to force you to do a gajillion reps going from the holster back to the holster, doing it safely, etc. Anybody who's trying appendix carry for the first time, it's a good class for that. Because if you've never carried appendix and you're not used to, pointing a muzzle anywhere near your bojangles,
Absolutely.
we walk you through the concepts. Okay, how to do this safely so you're not pointing at a gun at anything vital. It's a great class. We've had a ton of people go through it over the years. Last year we were kind of a slower teaching year in general, just because we were getting the shop going, but we're trying to hit the ground running hard here. So if you're interested in any kind of defensive shooting related skills, this is definitely a class you want to jump in on. Like I said, next week, Sunday, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's definitely worth the consideration. So I would definitely jump into that one. Following up that one, and I don't know what the schedule is looking like this. I'm just kind of covering April's classes right now, but coming up pretty quick. May's coming. We've got our enhanced sniper course is the second week of May, 15th through the 19th. That one's going to be a law enforcement only unless you've had previous sniper experience. So if you're a former military sniper, and you can show me your creds. I'll let anybody jump into it, and you'll find out real quick with our courses. We'll let pretty much anybody take any class. If it's an enhanced level class, there might be a little bit more questionnaire going on. So I'll let anybody take our basic sniper course, but you do have to we're going to ask some questions, and we might bring a little bit more to bear to that conversation before we just dump you into it. I'm not going to let just anybody take it, but I'm not going to make it a law enforcement only environment. At the back end of that, on the 20th, I believe is that Saturday, we are doing a one-day precision rifle class. That's going to be at NIRPC. I saw that they chimed on with a like here. We're doing a precision rifle class. We're going to shoot out to like 350-ish yards, depending. that's going to be a good class. We're going to really break into the fundamentals of accurate shooting at 100 yards first, get our gear squared away, make sure everything is tightened down the way it needs to, make sure you have the equipment that you need to make those longer hits, and then we're going to start pushing it back to 350 yards. I own a ton of steel. It's all mobile. We'll bring that out. So you're going to be banging steel anywhere from as close to 50 yards all the way out to 300 and something yards, whatever distance we end up being able to stretch out there. And you're going to learn all the skills that you need to be able to make those hits. So we'll be talking about equipment, software, what you put in your phone, your laser range finders, what you should be looking for good optics, things like that. We'll probably, well, not even probably, we're doing that precision rifle social event here at the end of the month. It's the last Thursday. It's the 27th or something like that.
Yeah. I believe
27th. Yeah, it looks like it's the 27th. I can't do math. It's too late in the day for that.
Right.
So that
Thursday.
Yeah, that precision rifle social event, the 27th. I'm sure we'll talk a lot about gear and equipment and the software that's out there. And all the good jazz that goes with that. But that's going to be a lot of fun, especially for anybody that's interested in bolt action or just scoped rifles in general and kind of reaching out and really kind of touching things a little bit more. So that class is going to be an absolute riot. I am looking forward to it. It's going to be our first civilian long-range class that we've done. I've done a couple of basic snipers, 40-hour basic snipers now over the last couple of years. That's why we're pushing this enhanced one in May. But that's why we're also kind of expanding into this regular hobbyist precision rifle, so we can start stretching out their guns a little bit more, getting accurate. Sometimes getting off your belly. It just kind of depends on how much material gets covered. But I'm looking forward to it. That's going to be a lot of fun. Back half of that month, I think there's a carbine class coming up. That's going to be our we're going to have our makeup from the 4 guys that signed up for it last month that it was 2 degrees outside that we decided to postpone for. We'll get them in that one, but we're going to see how many bodies we can get in that class because I'm looking forward to defensive carbine.
Yes. Knock the rust off.
Well, you're doing that Saturday. Missed the date on the long range class. It is the 20th, Dave. 1 day class is the 20th of May 20th. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Really kind of get some good quality ammo out there, really starting to reach out and touch some things. And I think we're going to start I think May is also when we start having some freebie classes for the NIRPC members. So the membership of the club, this is a thank you to the club for allowing us to go out there and shoot and train and work with people and students. If you're a club member with NIRPC, you'll have an opportunity to get into some free courses here coming up. But we're getting into defensive carbine and then some of our advanced level stuff. That's coming up in May. That's going to be a lot of fun. If you've never taken one of our carbine classes, you're really missing out. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun year. Same thing. You're going to learn how to run the safety. You're going to learn how to sling it, use it in ARPC. Oh, thank you guys. I'm assuming that's John that's listening, but I could be wrong. Carbine's going to be great to build your fundamentals, learn about basic marksmanship, start on the ground, start prone, figure out how to get perfect, tiny, itty bitty groups so we can set up your sights properly, make sure your gun shoots the way you want it to shoot. And then we get off the ground. And then we start teaching you close quarters, home defense related tactics and concepts. And that's where the defensive carbine really, really starts to kind of come into effect and really starts to shine. Slinging, shooting positions, upright, low, flat shoulder, low ready. We'll cover all of that.
Mag changes, unloading, loading, everything.
Yeah. Sight offset, how to hold your sights when your sights are 3 inches above the barrel, how you're supposed to aim and do that. And you get enough reps that it becomes an instinctual process. After that, you're going to start getting into our close quarters stuff. So we have a close quarters pistol and a close quarters carbine. I'd like to add some new stuff, but that's going to be on you guys. I would love to put some more advanced level curriculums, team building things, CQB, stuff like that, but that's going to be up to you wonderful folk that are out there. If we sign up, we get enough people signed up for classes, taking classes that we have the feeder program in place, then we can start doing those advanced close quarters classes, etc. And I would love to start being able to push that and do 2-day long CQB courses and things like that. But what we do have is our close quarters pistol and carbine classes. A lot of fun. The round count goes through the roof real quick. Those are the first classes that have a higher round count. We ask you bring 600 rounds to each of those courses, and you're going to shoot probably 550 of them. It's a high rate of fire. It's all about defensive shootings. If you're in close quarter environment, how can you put lots of rounds where they need to go as accurately as possible in as short a time period as possible? Because if your bad guy starts trying to murder you, you kind of want to end that threat as quickly and as humanly possible. So that's what the CQ courses are all about. The neat thing about those two is we're going to throw you in an environment where you're working around other people. I mean, Brad can attest to this. You've taken it.
Absolutely. Just
taken that now?
Oh, I couldn't even tell you how many times.
So he's bombed through it at least 3 times that I know of.
Good training, good, everything. Just fast pace. Love it.
Yep. Hey, Marcus. The neat thing about the close quarters pistol too is we're going to get your shot time from the holster, from concealment down a ton. We've got a bunch of exercises and drills that we work on that really focus on getting that first round impact where you want it to go and when you want it to get there. So we really, really are going to put you through the steps and the reps required to really get you accurate and fast. So God forbid you're actually going to need it in a defensive circumstance. You're going to be able to deploy that gun, get your rounds downrange, and get the hits you want when you want them. If you follow Active Self-Protection, John Correa, and his stuff, he does a whole bunch of stuff where he dives into the second-by-second breakdown of videos, and his general rule of thumb is you have, from the time that you see that there's a potential threat, you have 2.5 seconds to get your gun into play and go to work. 2.5 seconds. So if you can't draw your pistol safely, get it accurately out, deployed, and get rounds on target where you want them to go, we need to work. This class, we've had a ton of success running that close quarters pistol course, getting guys there and gals. We've had a ton of women taking that class too. Same thing goes with carbine. Going from a sling, low ready position, high ready position, whatever your ready position is, and then getting accurate round, first round impacts where you want them, when you want them, on target. Because if you can't, what the heck's the point? I mean, if you're biffing off the target, or you can't pick up your sights, or you can't, work through the stress, that's what those courses are all about, is teaching you how to work through the stress and fighting through all that stuff. And if you haven't picked up on it by now, Brad's a fixture on the range. Whether he's actively shooting the courses or he's assisting, because we're working him through the instructor level stuff. I'm hoping by next year, with a little luck, to get him full blown, able to kind of teach on his own without having a lot of babysitting, get that knowledge and get that experience and get that practice under his belt. But he's going to be apprenticing through to me and Sammy here over the next year for sure, helping us out on the range, all the good jazz that goes with that. Because the instruction side, the teaching side, that directly translates to the work we do here at the shop, because I want my guys, and thankfully all my guys train on a regular basis. We can take what we learn in those classes and then push that onto people when they come in and they have questions. Why is this good for me? Why is this not good for me? And these guys work their asses off all the time. They do a great job. That's why I keep them around. I mean, it's not for the good looks.
Right.
No.
Face for radio.
Voice for comic books. Yeah, that's kind of what we got for the rest of the year. Or that's what we have coming up in the immediate year, I should say. That's what you're going to start seeing through May. Start expecting to see a whole lot more chatter, a lot more involvement. We're really going to hit the ground running here coming up. Start filling these classes and getting people through it. The more people we get through classes, the more advanced concepts we can start putting together. I know there's a lot of talk of people wanting to have vehicle CQB stuff. I know DMEC does a bunch of stuff. Jared does a bunch of stuff up in Pecatonica. Highly suggest taking his courses. John, I know you jumped into that course before with him. I would love to start doing stuff like that, but we need people going through the basics before I'm willing to throw people at complex, multi-directional, super 3D workspace environments with guns and a bunch of strangers. So we need people getting out there, training, signing up for classes, doing all that cool stuff. So wish I could take more classes. I know, Donna, it's time, and it's time is the biggest kicker for everybody. Yeah. Coordinating that and having adult lives and all that stuff. So we'll open the floor. Does anybody have it? I know there's not a huge crowd on right now. We've got a few people. Anybody have any questions that they have about upcoming classes, instructors, stuff you want to see, stuff you want to do, stuff you'd like to see pop up in the future? Here's your opportunity. And keep in mind, if you ask it now or after we get off, we'll get to it sometime the next couple of days. We'll make sure we respond to all that stuff. So if you don't have an answer, but training is super important. Jump into it, take advantage of it. Talk to this guy. He's taken more classes than most people I know. Because what other organizations have you trained with over the years?
Frontside Solutions, Battleline Tactical, Spartan Tactical, Trigger Farms, Downrange, of course. I can go on and on and on. Just, yeah, love to train, love to go all over different instructors. But by far, Mr. Matt over here has tweaked me more than any of them all combined. So love sticking around.
It's not why he's on the payroll either, believe it or not. He came up with that on his own. Yeah, otherwise, I think we're going to wind down, call it a night. Everybody who did tune in, bounced some stuff out here. Much appreciate your attention. Probably would have gotten a few more people if I would have gotten on the computer on time. But like I said, had a meeting right before this. That kind of ran a little late. But thanks for tuning in, everybody. Stop in, check out the new duty gear, carry gear, all that good jazz, and get yourself signed up for some classes. Otherwise, everybody have a fantastic evening, and we'll talk to you soon.